Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another episode of Four Continental Podcast. Today it's Ethan with me once again. In fact, Diego unfortunately could not join due to some commitments. But yeah, we talk about the six games that we played last night. So let's start off with Curacao versus Cote d'Ivoire. What do you think of this game, Ethan?
I think Ivory Coast or Cote d'Ivoire did really well, and they took their goals really well, and they're in the knockout stage for the first time ever. And Curacao, yes, they're eliminated on 1 point, but they can hold their head up high. They had a good World Cup. They scored a goal. They got a point. So they have nothing to be ashamed of. Just being here for them is an achievement.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Curacao, obviously their World Cup debut, but they still managed to, m- make uh, some moments, memories for us. They scored the opening. I remember the opening game there against the Germans. The first 15 minutes of the game, actually everyone was quite hopeful, but then obviously things went south for Curacao. And in the second game, they held Ecuador to a 1-1 draw. Room absolute goalkeeping masterclass. And now in this game, Cote d'Ivoire, obviously uh, one of the strongest African teams in this World Cup. Nicolas Pepe scored both the goals. He was absolutely uh, cooking this game. He was, uh, yeah, I didn't think he had a bad moment in this game. He was just doing so well. And yeah, it was really good to see Cote d'Ivoire in this form. Jan Diomande, Nicolas Pepe, and all of them. I'm really excited to see how they uh, do in their knockout stages. Yeah, let's move to the second game of the day. Probably the most entertaining one for me of all the six. Ecuador versus Germany. What do you think of this one?
I think Germany took their foot off the gas because they already won a group. But great result for Ecuador, and they're virtually guaranteed to go through as a third place team.
Yeah, Germany, obviously the first goal that they scored wasn't really the best because of the very high boot. Uh, I I personally think it was maybe a foul, but it wasn't really given. But yeah, Ecuador really gave it their all in this game, and this was a do or die game for them, and they made it do rather than die. So yeah, the first goal scored by Angola. Angola, his name. He scored a great finish. And then over both the halves, Ecuador just kept on coming. Plata was great throughout the game. And Valencia had some couple of shots on goal. And eventually, right at the end, ending, I believe, in the last 10 or 12 minutes, Ecuador managed to score the second goal. And you could see the emotions in the ground. I believe this was their second time ever making it to the knockout stages. Obviously, a huge moment for them. And speaking of their manager, Bakacheche, he was under a lot of pressure, and people were saying that he will waste this Ecuadorian golden gen. But in the end, after losing against Cote d'Ivoire, drawing against Curacao, they did it the hard way. They won against the four times World Cup champions, and they did it in some style. So yeah, it was great to see Ecuador making it through to the next stages. I'm really happy for them. Yeah, moving on to the third game of the day, Japan versus Sweden. What do you think of this one?
I didn't watch all of it. I mainly watched the Netherlands game. But Sweden played well, and Japan did not play well. I will say, and Sweden took their goal really well. Both sides could have won it, but I think a draw is the right result.
Yeah, so obviously I watched both Tunisia and Sweden game. Japan, where like perhaps you can say both the teams had quite like attacking chances. Japan, the goal they scored was a very well made. The build up play was great and the finish was great as well. But then shortly after, Ilanga for Sweden scored a banger. To be honest, because I don't think many people were expecting him to shoot from there, and I also thought it was maybe a cross, but it wasn't, and it was a really good goal. And yeah, both the teams were trying to take the win, but I believe the Swedish coach Graham Potter told the player that even in case of a draw, they will make it through to the next stage. I think that they just in the ending, the last 15 minutes or so, I think they just tried to hold their lead and they tried to hold the draw. And yeah, both the teams qualified, and Alexander Isak for Sweden had quite a few chances as well. Gyökeres. So yeah, both the teams played well, and both of them are now through to the knockout stages. And really excited to see how Japan will face against Brazil in the round of 32. It's a really a great game. And let's move to the fourth game of the day, being Tunisia versus Netherlands. So what are your thoughts on this game?
Tunisia is very bad. Netherlands can make a deep run, and after Netherlands got 1-2 up in 8 minutes, they took their foot off the gas and they could, which is good because they could embarrass Tunisia. But Tunisia, I mean, gosh, are really bad. They're probably the worst team in this tournament.
Yeah, Tunisia obviously came into this World Cup as perhaps a strong defensive side. I think they considered no goals, zero goals in their qualification. I'm not wrong. Yeah, everyone was expecting them to do better defensively, but the group they were placed in, obviously, some all three are basically world class teams: Japan, Sweden, Holland, and yeah, they could not stop the talent their of those teams and lost both their opening games and the last game. The Holland, the first game obviously lost 5-1 to Sweden. Secondly, they lost I think 4-0 or 4-1 to Japan, and now they lost 3-1 to Holland. Yeah, speaking of Holland, they definitely got the side that can make it all the way through. Uh, they got great defense. They got a great midfield. They got good attacking players, and I believe if they can keep on going, and they will definitely make it on the way to the final. Maybe even get to win it. Yeah, some really high hopes from Holland in this World Cup, and it's there. I believe it's the where Van Dijk's most probably his last World Cup, so he will try to make it as special as possible. Yeah, let's see how things go for them. And now, let's move to the fifth game of the day, being Turkey versus USA. What do you think of this one?
USA lost, Turkey won, but it was kind of a meaningless game because both teams were already either eliminated or won their group. I'm sad that the USA lost, but at the end of the day, they made 9 changes, the most ever a USA team made in their group. And also, they had really nothing to play for apart from getting their B team players minutes. So it's disappointing, and it brings us back down to earth. But we've still won their group, and we're still going to play Bosnia in the next round. So overall, not too disappointing. And Turkey, if they played like this earlier, even though it was against a USB team, they may not have been eliminated.
Yeah, Turkey. before unfortunately going back home. They put up a good performance against USA, you could say B team, but I believe towards the second half, their first team players did come on. But yeah, still they started with their B team, and they still managed to score two goals. It was 2-2 for most of the game until the Arda Güler masterclass in the last minute. The ball came in. The ball went the short pass back to the goal, and then they scored. So yeah, it was perhaps good to see Turkey finishing on a win at least, not going home with 0 points. Yeah, it was good to see Turkey winning this game. And as for the USA, I would say it's kind of concerning for them because Bosnia, I believe they have a really solid defense, and USA will need to do something special in order to break them down. And I'm really gonna back Bosnia because I think it's they've done really well. They held Canada to a draw. And they could hold Switzerland to a draw as well, but unfortunately Switzerland was too strong for them. In the last 15 minutes, everything just went bad to us for them. But yeah, I'm happy they managed to make it to the next round, and it will be a good game between USA and Bosnia. Yeah, let's move to the final game of the day: Paraguay versus Australia. What do you think of this game?
Didn't watch um because I was watching the USA game. I heard it was kind of boring. But congrats Australia to going through, and Paraguay potentially goes through either two.
Yeah, I watched both the games as well. Uh, Paraguay Australia was perhaps a bit boring game, but Paraguay was trying to score so much Australia. Both the teams were good defensively. They had a couple of shots on target from both sides. And I would like to mention Julio Enciso here. Julio Enciso is to Paraguay what Messi is to Argentina. As that's how much of a crucial player he is for Paraguay. As he was cooking last night, and he could have gone. He could have, he could have scored a goal as well. I think in the last 10 minutes or so, he had a good chance, but he just put it wide. So yeah, Australia are through to the next round. Paraguay are also on 4 points, and most likely they will also make it to the next stage. Yeah, it's good to see them making through to the next round because uh, I really want Paraguay to perhaps at least make it to round of 16 because they have a good team, and I believe they can do it. And yeah, on on the best to the teams for their upcoming knockout stages. Now, let's move to the predictions of the upcoming games, starting off with Norway versus France. What do you think the score will be?
France, just because even though France is through, I still think France goes through. I mean, and wins. I'm going with 4-2 France win.
Nah, that's interesting. Since both the teams are basically through, this is perhaps battle for who finishes first. And I think both the teams will try to finish first, so they can maybe get a slightly easier opponent. Uh, and I think that Norway won't let France get away with it easily. So I'm gonna say 3-2 for Norway. Let's move to the second game of the day: Senegal versus Iraq. What your prediction for this one?
I think 5-0 Senegal. Iraq haven't really impressed me.
It's a very important prediction, perhaps. But yeah, Senegal, they look a bit sharp, but they aren't really finishing their chances that much. And Iraq on the other side, they faced France and Norway, and when both the games their keeper made some mistake. I hope this changes for them in this game, and I'm hopeful actually that I don't think any of the team goes through if they win because they will only have 3 points. Uh, but yeah, I am still gonna back an Iraq win here, 1-0 win for Iraq. Yeah, moving on to the third game, a very interesting game perhaps. Capo Verde and versus Saudi Arabia. What are predictions for this one?
I think Saudi Arabia wins 2-1 because both these teams need to win to go through, and I think Saudi Arabia just has a tinge more quality than Cape Verde, but Cape Verde have been really impressive so far.
Yeah, Capo Verde obviously drew their opener against Spain and then drew against Uruguay 2-2, which they could have won as well, but couldn't really do so. And Saudi Arabia, on the other hand, also drew with Uruguay, 1-1, lost to Spain. But I think the goals they conceded against Spain were quite avoidable. And although I personally think many people will be backing Capo Verde here, but Saudi Arabia should not be underestimated, and I think they will try to uh, go all out here and make it through to the next round. But nevertheless, even if Cape Verde go through or not, it's still a great journey for them. It's been a great journey for them. But I'm also gonna say a 1-0 win for. I'm actually gonna back Cape Verde here, but I believe it's their World Cup debut, and I want them to make it to the next round. Although I do like Saudi Arabia a lot, but in this game, I'm gonna be backing a 1-0 win for Cape Verde. So moving towards the fourth game of the day, Uruguay versus Spain. So your thoughts on this
3
one?
0 Spain, because Uruguay have not really impressed me. They drew to Cape Verde and Saudi Arabia, and Spain looked really great against Saudi Arabia. Could have scored more, and also is one of the favorites for the World Cup. And I think it could be more, but I'm going 3-0 Spain.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely possible for Spain, but it's once again it's a do or die scenario for Uruguay as well. They have to win or at least draw. But yeah, if they win, they have a much better chance at finishing second. And Spain on the other side, they're already, I believe, they're finishing. They're finishing first, but no, if they lose this game, Uruguay will top the group. So yeah, it's definitely a really interesting game here. We got into ourselves. Uh, so it's really a tough one. I'm gonna say Spain's defense. I'm gonna say isn't really the best. So I am gonna back Uruguay here for a 2-1 win for Uruguay. Moving on to the fifth game of the day, being Egypt versus Iran. What are your predictions for this one?
2-1 Iran, because I think Iran um has more quality right now and it is a more cohesive team than Egypt, and I think they will go through.
Yeah, it's Egypt. I believe already through to the next round. Iran needs to a win would be ideal for them, but a draw would put them on 3 points. And the last game in this group is New Zealand versus Belgium. And, Belgium also drew both of their opening games. So I think in order for Iran to be on the safe side, I think they should try. So yeah, moving towards the final game of the day, New Zealand versus Belgium. What are your predictions for this one?
3-0 Belgium. I know they have to win, and I haven't been great so far, but I think they will win because New Zealand is not very good. And I think Belgium will win and go through, and if they don't, it's a big bottle job.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the favorites here are Belgium, but New Zealand have rather impressed me in their games, and I don't think they will let Belgium get away with it easily. So I'm actually gonna go for um, yet another draw here between New Zealand and Belgium. Third draw for Belgium. I think it's gonna be 1-1 because the Belgium hasn't been looking really bright as well, and I think they will draw here as well in the last game of the group. Yeah, sit for the episode. The games have been obviously really interesting. Um, it's been really interesting. Some real upsets. So Ecuador, Germany, we saw Turkiye managing to get a win before eventually and getting not knocked out of the World Cup. Yeah, it's definitely been some good games overall. We saw South Africa beating South Korea and making their finishing second in their group. And yeah, it's been one heck of a ride in this World Cup, and hopefully we have better games coming up as well.
It's been a great World Cup so far.
Yeah, for
I've
sure,
really
for sure.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, same. And the decision to expand it to 48 teams could say was kind of good because we get to see some new teams, and they did not really disappoint at all. And yeah, it was good to
But
see them
48
make
is
their
enough.
debut.
No need to go to 64.
Yeah, 64 would be perhaps too much. I think 48 is just the right number, perhaps. Yeah, I hope they don't expand it, but I've been recently seeing news that the 64 team is nearly impossible for FIFA to do so. I think they're just gonna stick with 48 teams now, and I think it's good. And yeah, this is it for today. And see you guys tomorrow. If you have any suggestions, don't forget to write them in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and see you all tomorrow after the games.
See ya.